Gazin fight.
I have to meditate in the middle of the show today. So if I look catatonic, it means I'm really completely disconnected from all reality.
Uh-huh.
Or my internet's frozen.
Yeah, one or the other.
And why would that make it any different
Oh,
than any other show?
getting
I don't know. Look, we got a guest in the green room right now. Let's be
I know,
quiet.
we have to behave ourselves.
This is an actual,
Not on my behalf.
like an actual musician, not like.
Okay. Okay, everybody.
We had different lyrics for this part, remember?
Hey, we just lost audio. How'd that happen?
Good evening.
Silvia, run.
Check.
I had like a
We're going to use this for the remake of Banachek.
Mr. Siri came in.
You're going to do a Banachek remake, and they're going to use this music.
Okay.
Of course, George Papard is dead.
What? I didn't know that.
You didn't know George Papard was dead?
I love
yeah.
George Papard.
Yeah. The A-Team, what was that show called? A-Team.
A-Team.
George.
It was called the A-Team.
No, the Canadian version was The Team, eh?
The Team, comma, eh?
I think it was La Team,
Lucky.
so as not to offend anyone.
So, right. That's correct.
Mm-hmm. It's perfect for us because we have... what are you drinking?
It's special tea.
Like pure alcohol?
Ethel.
They have 4 bottles of Everclear here.
It's going to be a fun show, folks.
Oh no, they're locked up tight.
A little test.
Oh my gosh. Look at the time. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our live stream.
We're the Water Street Blues Band, and this is Talking About Live, coming at you every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 3 o'clock in Tierra del Fuego.
Tierra del Fuego. Hello, everyone.
How is everybody out there in
Thanks for joining us.
radio, interweb, live stream land? Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us.
Paul, you're on stage just like, it feels like old times.
Yeah, like old
You know
times.
what? I'm gonna be standing up today, and because I miss performing live, and standing up is like one step closer, right?
It is.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
We'll have to get into that next time.
I haven't stood up for a year.
So for those of you who have never watched the show before, let's do some introductions.
How about that?
That's great. I'm Rob. I'm the guitar player in the Water Street Blues Band, and
I'm Sylvia. I play keys and squeeze. That's accordion.
And I'm Paul Sapunzi, and I do foot massages. I play bass guitar, and I provide all of the financing for the band. And we have
Lead
an
vocals.
amazing show lined up for you guys tonight. One that I'm really proud of, and we've got some vinyl. We've got some great stuff around various themes for the Academy Awards. But the most important thing is that we have Steve Grisbrook. Grisbrook, I'm sorry, Steve, and.
No.
I'm nervous tonight. Sorry, guys.
Paul.
There goes the trailer invite.
Yeah. Anyway, we've got a great show. We've got Steve Grisbrook here, and we've got some video from the Stonewalls, and we've got the Werner Street Blues Band, and we've got Rob Derman.
Are you off your meds or what's going on, man?
No, I'm out of sync here because I'm standing up. So
Okay.
let's move on.
All right,
Plus, I'm a little bit. So what's going on with you guys?
Well, what's going on with all of us? By the way, we had for our community shout out this week. It's we're shouting out the Stronger Together program at CTV because coincidentally we were on that Stronger Together for folks doing positive things during the pandemic, and we got a chance to be a small part of it, along with a whole lot of other people who are doing some great things in the community. So you can go down to CTV website to see a little more, and that's just Google Stronger Together, and you'll see all the folks who are making a difference right here in our community.
So a big shout out and a big thanks to CTV for covering the positive side of the pandemic. So thank you. And thank you to all of you because because you tune in and because you're listening to this silly show every Wednesday, you really made that happen and helped us build a community, and we're so thankful and grateful that you're here tonight. So thank you.
Okay, let me do this again because I had no internet when I was doing it before and I couldn't hear anybody and I was coming in at different times. Today's show, guys, is our guest, Toronto and Niagara's legendary guitarist, singer, producer, engineer, host, Steve Grisbrook. Plus today's theme is the movies. Did everybody hear that? I've been having some problems here. Good. Okay, good.
That was good.
That was very good.
Thank you.
As many of you may or may not know, we recorded an album in 2020 called Talkin About, and we'd like to give away a digital copy of the album with today's blues quiz. So the question today, and if you have the answer to this, the first person who can put it in the comments we'll send you out a copy of our digital record. We'll contact you after the show, and we'll do it that way. So what iconic bluesman did a cameo in the movie Adventures in Babysitting?
All right, that was a fun movie.
What iconic bluesman did a cameo in the movie Adventures in Babysitting, starring Elizabeth Shue?
Elizabeth Shue is
very early performance by Elizabeth Shue.
All right, that's good.
Okay, well, there's the question. I may come back to it if nobody gets the answer. A lot of people are saying, howdy, Steve. So people are looking forward to Steve Grisbrook's appearance, so as are we. But,
howdy, Steve. Steve's
Paul,
in the green room. Oh, Paul's in the green room. Oh, sorry.
Paul, where's Fluffy? I haven't seen Fluffy for like several weeks.
Well, Greek Easter's approaching, and it's this weekend, and I'm Greek, and he's on assignment. We've been doing some filming, with the Netflix special. So he's still overseas. We did a big trip. We did this big show. I think I did a preview last week. Chef Ollie Tabuger is the character. Ollie and Fluffy were on assignment in Greece, actually. And they produced their first episode of Chef Ollie Tabuger.
Well, in honor of today's speech that's being made right now in Washington D.C., this is the Hail to the Chef. Hail to the Chef episode.
You went a long way for that.
Yeah, and Rob has been very supportive of this whole effort.
Did you know about it? Because I didn't know about it, Rob.
Rob was part of it, and he was just there coaching us, and he really had a big part of it. So anyway,
I'm
let's.
the only one who didn't know about this.
I've never been to Greece.
Huh?
I've never been to Greece.
Pardon me?
I've never been to Greece.
Well, I've got some clips.
Okay.
Did you
let's roll.
seriously?
Yeah. Let's roll it.
Oh, it's Greek for real. The press last.
Συγχωρέψε κουκλί μου, να σε δω να σε χαρώ. Σύφτε τέλει ελληνικό, νίνα να είναι μωρό μου, νίνα να είναι. Σύφτε τέλει ελληνικό, νίνα να είναι μωρό μου, νίνα να είναι. Όπα νίνα
Canadian Tire.
To Greek safety standards.
High standards.
Θα σου τραγουδήσω πάλι στον ασυχικό χαβά. Κούνα λίγο το κορμί σου, νινα μωρό μου, νινα. Κούνα λίγο.
Wasn't that a great video of Paul Saprinzi in the movie Ollie to Booger?
Wow, that was phenomenal. I really appreciated all that work that Paul has put into.
Taught my father how to be a man.
Check. The way that he has completely taken over the music and entertainment business is phenomenal. I'm so grateful that I have taught him how to play guitar.
Busy. Action. Oh, God. Thank you. We love you, Paul. We love you so much. Oh, my.
What?
It's going to be big, Rob, eh?
I've never been to Greece.
He keeps saying that.
Well, that was epic.
Very supportive.
Still doesn't explain where Fluffy is, though.
See you next week. It's going to be a different
Okay,
thing.
next week we'll find out where Fluffy is next week. Well, Paul, in honor of the movies, one of our favorite movies is the movie Ray, and I think you're going to do a tune from Ray, and we're going to do a tune from Ray. So why don't you whip it out?
Okay, let's see if I can get everything ready here. So I'm going to play with us backing me, and we don't have a recording of this tune, so I used a recording that Peter Beacock did of us. I think it was like 6 years ago
Shout out
at
to
Milton Theater. I can't remember how many years ago it was, but he did a nice recording of us live doing Marianne, and I scrubbed the bass track and I scrubbed the vocals, and I'm going to play bass and vocals over Rob and Silvia, basically. And who was playing drums with us? It was Magic.
Lukashevich and Pete Temple on harmonica.
Yeah. So here we go.
Wow. All right.
Now on Marianne, you know you look so fine. Now on Marianne, you know you look so fine. Now on Marianne, I could love you all the time. Now on Marianne, baby, don't you know? Now on Marianne, don't you know? You know that I love you, and I want you so. Now on Marianne, take it easy, baby. All night long. Uh-huh. Now on Marianne, can I take you home tonight? Now on Marianne, can I take you home tonight? You know if you let me, make everything all right. Now on Marianne, take it easy, baby. All night long. Uh-huh.
Good
Yeah,
effort,
thanks,
Paul.
That's right.
Thanks to Majid and Peter for that, and from a long time ago. And that's Ray Charles, which was a wonderful movie.
We do have a winner in our blues contest, and the question in the blues contest was, which iconic blues man did a cameo in the movie Adventures in Babysitting? And Dave Harland, you got it right. It was Albert, the master of the Telecaster, Collins, who made it's a really cool appearance. You should go check it out. I think you can find it on YouTube.
Was that it?
That wasn't it. That was the Greek version of Adventures in Babysitting.
Albert Collins in that movie is, like, he shows up, it's kind of
Scary.
freaky.
It's
kind of scary.
He's
He's a scary dude to start with,
Yeah, but then it gets great. It gets funny. Anyway,
Yeah, it's
check out the movie. It's fun. We're going to do a tune from the movie Ray as well.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's one of Ray Charles' first songs, and you know a little bit about this song, don't you, Sylvia?
I know a little bit about it. I know he didn't actually write it. He got some writing credit for it because it sounded off starting a lot different than where it ended up. But yeah, it got that Ray Charles start. Who did write it?
I think it was Atlantic Records, so I think Amit Erkin
that's right. He
basically came up with the basic words and a very unfunky version of it, and then Ray took it to church.
Yeah. So now we're gonna give it a shot.
Yeah. What's it called?
Oh, it's called Mess Around. Yeah, I remember that time. Maureen Brown said, "Could you play it?" And it was at full tempo, so which is fast. We keep thinking that. Was this too fast? No, that's actually how it is. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Messing around.
Well, you heard about the pit barbecue. Joint was jumping in the beat. Put you right on the mess around. Right on the mess around. Right on the mess around. Everybody's doing the mess around. Well, now everybody was juiced. You can bet your soul. They're doing the boogie woogie, start to roll. They're doing the mess around. They're doing the mess around. They're doing the mess around. Everybody's doing the mess around. Now when I say stop, don't you move a peg. When I say go, you better shake that leg. Do the mess around. They're doing the mess around. They're doing the mess around. Everybody's doing the mess around. Just like back in the day. Right. You know the band's gonna play from 9 to 1, and everybody's gonna have some fun. Do the mess around. They do the mess around. They do the mess around. Everybody's doing the mess around. They're doing the mess around. Everybody's doing the mess around. They're doing the mess around. Everybody's doing the mess around. All right. All right, thanks.
Little Ray Charles from the movie Ray. And speaking of the movie Ray, I think it's time to move into Paul's very special vintage vinyl collection today.
All right,
And this one is...
I
Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, I was going to say that I don't know about the rest of you guys, but because I was home and I don't usually watch the Academy Awards, but I thought it was, I watched it this time and I thought it was a lovely show, and it was kind of intimate and you got to feel like it was there. I really enjoyed the Academy Awards this year. So Rob has an announcement to make about plans for the future of the band.
What?
Regarding awards, various awards and cash prizes.
Yeah, and we decided we would make our own award for movie soundtracks that we like, and just us, just me, Paul, and Silvia, and it's called the Fluffer Awards, with of course Fluffy on top of a bowling trophy, and it's this is a very special and very exclusive Academy, and we're the only people who make the nominations. But we would like to invite the audience, because maybe we would want to do this segment again. If you think
More participation.
That's right.
More participation from you guys.
Just let us know in the comments.
If you think there's movie soundtracks,
Send them to us.
please send us ideas, and
No, it's the actual albums.
Yeah, no, just mail the albums to us. No, send us the ideas, and we'll perhaps jam them into
Send a
another
million
segment.
texts every week. You send a million texts every week. Send one idea so that we have something to work on. We're just
Something.
feeding on the same
Something.
information recycling Rob's ideas over and over again.
Well, while this is an academy of three, apparently Paul makes all the decisions, and he's the decider
All right,
in
let's-
terms of who
let's
wins
see
the
where
So
award.
let's. I want you guys to. I want you guys to score with Fs, right? So if you really like that album cover, type in as many Fs as you can. Doesn't matter whether they're capitalized or lowercase. It really doesn't matter. Maybe if you want to be more emphatic, it's capitalized. That's your decision.
Emphatic. Does emphatic have
So
an
we're
F
going to
in it?
go through these. Yeah, these are our personal favorites. So let's
Okay,
run through
all right,
these.
let's
And
try.
so let's see who's going to win the big F this year.
Okay, well, the first one, West Side Story, and this is special, not just because of the music and the film, but also because Mary Catherine did the Leonard Bernstein songbook, and she sang at our last show the I Feel Pretty, which was the song from West Side Story. So that's great. If you want to hear Mary Catherine do that song, it was a couple shows back. So we're nominating the music, the show, and of course the Jets and the Sharks.
I'm a Jets fan.
Okay.
I mean the hockey.
Different
team.
Jets.
Different.
hockey
diff-
team.
Yeah, the
different.
loser Jets, not the
Different-
winner Jets.
Different Jets. Anyway, I was with the Sharks and trying to memorize all of this soundtrack. So they won awards, and in fact, when they were making rehearsing for the Broadway theater version, and they had very long rehearsals, more than typical. The actors who played the Jets and the Sharks were not allowed to associate with each other outside of the theater or in the theater or at lunch, except for whatever happened on the stage. So the director wanted to build some real animosity between them. Little factoid.
Oh, there you go.
Right, yeah, I've never listened to this or watched this movie because of the color of the record, and it's communist. This is about communism.
It is not. That would be called
It
East Side
almost-
Story if it was communist.
It almost was religious, but that's a whole other.
Yeah. Rob.
The modern Romeo and Juliet.
This is an amazing soundtrack, and the movie's got incredible actors, and it's a movie about the city and relationships. But the soundtrack is phenomenal. The one side of this, and I've got the vinyl version of this soundtrack, and one full side of it is Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue. And when I don't know who the player is, and it's certainly not Woody Allen, but when the player hits that clarinet glissando,
Did you want to hear my imitation again?
Sure, go
No,
ahead.
you don't. I thought you were gonna
you're just captivated and drawn in. It's a fabulous soundtrack.
Yeah, I don't see any Fs, guys. I don't see any marking. I need the Academy. You are the Academy. I don't know if you explained that. You are the Academy. Whoever's tuned in is going to decide the destiny of the next Fluffer.
Okay. Okay, so far we have West Side Story.
It didn't sound right. Yeah, that didn't sound right.
Didn't sound right.
Okay, one of my personal favorites, and you'll know the soundtrack. You may not know this soundtrack, but you'll know the artist, Ennio Morricone, and he did this music for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly as well. And this was a really interesting time in cinema, and I think it's a lot of people have built on this genre, including Quentin Tarantino. So this should have been this kind of grindhouse 60s Western stuff from Italy, but all these incredible actors were going over there, like Henry Fonda, Charles Bronson, and starring in these movies. And what it was this weird combination of American Western films, surf guitar, and Federico Fellini soundtracks. So next time you listen to Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, just check it out. It's a really cool. And then, of course, Quentin Tarantino and all these guys. Yeah.
Well, I think Tom is giving it a bazillion Fs. So this one I think is the winner so far.
So far, okay.
Yeah, Tom, good. You're right, Tom.
Jason Robards and lots of big names here. Henry Fonda.
Yeah, so
Charles
let's move on. Yeah, this
and
one.
Claudia.
Okay, interesting
Okay.
story behind this. So Purple Rain, and infamous, monumental movie, monumental record. I think we have to talk about this as being one of the most distinguished soundtracks ever in the history of funk, everything you want to think of, that's that hybrid. And I met Prince. We spent some time, we played basketball together we actually went to see Norah Jones. It's a funny story. I've said this story before. We went to see Norah Jones. Silvia invited us, and there was no food, and I was starving to death.
I remember
there was no
that
food.
part I remember.
Yeah, so I was sitting second row. Sylvia got us great tickets. It was down at the Palace. Sitting second row, Prince is sitting in front of me. Anyway, we got yapping. I had some of his fries. We got in his limo, went to his house at the Bridle Path. He had more fries there. We played some basketball, and then he had these black albums, which are very rare. Gave me the black album, and we featured that on a previous show.
We did.
Let's
We
play a
watched
clip
just a
of
little
that.
short clip. Yeah.
Yeah, roll it.
It's painful for me.
It's extremely rare, extremely valuable. And what I really find interesting about the record, apart from the music, which is all right, it's the weight of the vinyl. Now, it's supposedly virtually unbreakable. And I just want to demonstrate.
That's as painful today as it was then. Paul, are you okay?
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah.
Anyway,
Can't undo
let's
that
move
one.
on.
Que
Move
sera,
on, yeah.
sera.
Well, Jamie Foxx won an Academy Award for his performance in this
Rob,
movie.
I just want to interrupt you for a second. David Douglas Crow, I don't know who knows David, he just indicated that he pooped.
It's a condition he has. Don't pay any attention to it. It's very bad condition.
Gets Wi-Fi in the washroom. He gets Wi-Fi in the washroom.
A little too comfortable.
So this is a fabulous movie. Jamie Foxx, of course, won his Academy Award for his portrayal of Ray Charles, and incredible movie, incredible man, incredible music, and if you haven't seen this movie, check it out. Amazing movie.
And one of my favorites. So when I was like about 14 or so, this movie came out called Mahogany, and it starred Diana Ross. And I really didn't know much about the Supremes at the age of 14. So my first introduction was to Diana Ross was through this film. And there was this beautiful song I remember becoming very emotional about because I had nothing really important in my life going on, called Do You Know Where I'm Going To? And I just thought the soundtrack was beautiful. It felt like mahogany, like it had this really earthy feel to the whole record. And I thought the cover was beautiful. The film was it was okay.
I had Billy D. Williams.
It was nice to see.
Today.
Yeah, it was nice to see Diana Ross and to see her perform and stuff. So.
All right. Yeah, I thought you were going to tell us a little more about that story, but another time. Oh,
What is this movie?
This is Troy.
What?
Friend of mine, James Horner, did the soundtrack. I invited him to do the soundtrack. We did a remake, and I haven't checked the texts yet or whatever the comments, but this has won the award this has won the Fluffer Award tonight, folks.
Oh, that.
And
You just
this was a
determined
terrific soundtrack. Yeah, this is a.
I thought you
yeah,
said we
was-
could have a say in who wins.
I think it's obvious.
Apparently, it was.
If I can get some Fs, can I get some Fs?
You got a lot of O's. It's in the best thing ever done category.
Anyway, this was an important movie because this is going to be released on Greek Easter.
Okay.
Because this movie has Greek content.
Did you bring a?
Yeah.
Did you bring a clip?
Yeah, so we've got a clip of the film. It's going to be released on May 2nd, this Sunday, at 4:05 a.m. online. Online
Paul,
on Twink.
Tom
Yeah.
just killed the internet with Fs. He just shut
here
it
we
right
go.
down.
Roll it, roll it, roll it, you bastards!
Nearly 3,000 years ago, the passion for
Oh my!
one
Oh
woman
my God!
Passion.
ignited the greatest battle ever fought.
Sylvia, you read the titles out.
He's reading. You're covering.
I
You're
want her
narrating.
back. Will you go to war with me, brother?
Totally.
We're sending the largest fleet that ever sailed. We need the greatest warrior. The killers can't be controlled. Be careful, King of Kings. First, you need the victory.
For proper underwear.
I won't ask you to fight my war. You already
Just an idiot. Can I say? She thinks he's an idiot.
ever submit to a foreign ruler.
These guys are all from Waterloo region.
They swear.
They're all from the Waterloo region. I called up Ken Sealing. He organized the whole thing.
Wow.
Before my time
Look at
Check
this.
it out.
I will look down on
Nice
you.
oils. Nice oils.
Look
The
at
serenade.
look at. Bloody idiots.
Oh, Paul.
Guy lost his teeth.
I do not know.
Oh.
Okay, so that was great. Well, adventures in your film career. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. So it's Easter. Easter on May 2nd. My friend Dino from high school, we grew up together. Dino and I were conceived simultaneously in different parts of Toronto. Dino builds everything from cars to houses. Anyway, thanks for watching, Dino, and say hello to JoJo and all of the people that hate you. And all the people that you like and all that stuff.
Okay.
And I
I
haven't
think-
talked to you in a long
I
time.
think-
We'll probably never speak again.
Paul, I think it's time to bring on our guest. And we're really thrilled to have with us, he's a singer. He's a hell of a guitar player. He's a host of many jams, of many shows for many years in many famous and storied venues. He's an engineer. He's a producer. He's an amazing singer. And we're so thrilled to have Toronto and Niagara's
That's
Steve
right.
Grisbrook with us here today. And before we bring Steve on, I think he's going to have to find his way from the production studio into the, or from the green room into the production studio because Fluffy's not around. But we're going to play a little bit of video of a performance that he did fairly recently.
All right. I'll just give him time to get
Smoking
onto
guitar.
the stage.
All right.
Hey, Steve, welcome to the show.
Good to be here.
All right.
Thanks for joining this room of silliness.
Steve, I think you've played probably 30, 40,000 gigs in your life. And do you remember where that was?
That was at Stonewall's, I think, in Hamilton.
Okay, cool. It was great. So tell us about what you're up to. Tell us about the tune, maybe. Start with that and tell us what you're up to, Steve.
Well, that's a song called Tune 88. I can't for the life of me remember who it's by right now. I'll get back to that.
Okay.
Yeah, as I said, it was at Stonewall's. I was the guest. We had a sub-in bass player, my buddy Dave, that plays with us in St. Catharines with Blues Etc. And an old friend of mine, Sean O'Grady, on drums.
Oh, Sean's great.
And it was basically Brant Parker's band, I think, minus Brant and minus their bass player. And what I'm up to, well, I'm up to the same thing every musician is right now. I'm sitting in my basement wondering what the hell I'm going to do next.
Yeah, well, I saw you. I think last week or the week before you did that live stream in front of the fire, and that's what you're doing, and that was terrific, Steve. Tell us about how that's going. Yeah, tell us about that.
You know, it's almost a necessity. I got talked into moving a couple of guitars into my living room because I don't do a lot of practicing at home. I mean, back in the day, I was playing 3-4 nights a week, and there wasn't really time for practicing. And the whole inspiration of having the guitars out was to to try and get inspired to start playing again. And hockey hit, baseball hit, Netflix hit, and I got real lazy with it. So I did a few in front of the campfires last year, I guess right after all this craziness started. And then trailer season started. I've got a trailer in Vineland, and we could all gather sort of as groups, but we couldn't bring in strangers, so on and so forth. So I was doing Facebook live feeds in behind my trailer, and it took off. And we had 50, 60 golf carts, and they were filling up the tip jar and plying me with a whole lot of red wine. And it just escalated from there. And we just had fun with it. And, I mean, the loading was fabulous.
There's
of course.
This campfire's going to get out of control.
Yeah, we want you to feel at home, so we added a campfire for you, Steve.
Oh, perfect.
Yes, look at that. But it's a little bit hot for Paul and me. It's kind of
I think Paul's...
oh, there we go.
Paul's melting.
Oh, no.
Steve,
oh, no.
you're at a level, Steve, where you're at a level where you've played with so many acts. You've supported and backed so many amazing people over the years in so many different places that I've watched you, and you have this thing you haul around with you. It looks like you went to Vietnam with you, like in the swamp, and you came out and you started playing guitar with it. You've got this 72 Strat, which I've never seen. I haven't really seen up close before, but I've seen it on video. Yeah, there it is. It's a beautiful guitar. Tell us about that. There's some people here that are really into guitars.
Well, it's not a glamorous story. I used to play in a band called Blue Sneakers, and I was actually dating the bass player at the time. And she moved over from Holland and found out that she couldn't get as much work as a guitar player, but she could get more work as a bass player. And she decided that she wanted to upgrade to a 5-string bass. So I said, well, if you need some money, I'd love to take this guitar off your hands. And when I got it, it was in interesting shape. It had pickups that never ever belonged in a Stratocaster, and it was wired up really, really awkwardly. So the first thing I did was take it back to stock. She had flat wound strings on it because she was a jazz player. Yeah. But she also had low gauge bass frets on it. And this is all just for the guitar nerds. But the action was really high, and the frets were really high. And it was just something I just fell in love with. And they'd basically taken the word Louisville Slugger and scratched it off the back. And that was what the neck was. It was just this great big piece of wood. and it's been a part of me ever since.
Yeah, looks like a good companion, and yeah, I envy you with that guitar. I'll buy it from you. I'll trade it for this Chinese-made Mustang bass.
I will. I'll throw in a case if you want.
Yes, and a meal.
Yes.
No, yeah, that's terrific. Can you play a song for us?
No.
Oh, come on.
Actually, it's kind of funny because I was asked just before we started, did I decide what songs I was going to do? And it's almost like there's a theme going on here. You guys did a couple of Ray Charles tunes, and I'd forgotten all about the whole Academy Award thing. I don't know if this song was in the movie, but this was one of the ones I decided I was going to do anyway.
All right.
Oh, cool.
And it's a Ray Charles tune.
All right.
Ha.
It's all Ray all the time.
There you go. It's the only one I know, so don't expect another one. My mama told me before she passed away, said, son, when I'm gone, don't forget to pray. Hard times, who knows better than I soon found out just what she meant. I had to pawn my clothes just to pay the rent. Hard times, who knows better than I? I had a woman who was always around, but when I lost my money, she put me down. Hard times, who knows better than I? Oh, Lord, one of these days, there'll be no more sorrow. All my debts will be paid. Hard times, who knows better than I?
Beautiful.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Well,
Thank you.
Steve, Stephanie French wanted to give a shout out to you. Hey, Steve, missing Saturday afternoon Monty Jams.
Oh, we all are.
So
yeah.
we all are.
So, Steve, where did you first get the spark? Where did you first get interested in music and want to do this as a sort of life's journey?
Well, it was kind of weird because, I've always sang. My dad was a choir singer at our church and got me involved in it. My mom first introduced me to CCR when I was very young, and I never ever stopped listening to them. But she drilled it into me, and that and all the K-Tel records.
Yep.
And it came to me sort of by fluke one day. My mom had said, "Hey, listen, such and such a person's taking guitar lessons. Do you have any interest?" I said, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure." And somehow I managed to get through 6 to 8 months of playing Mary Had a Little Lamb and Old Lang Syne and so on and so forth, and picked it up. And I guess that might have been the initial spark. I think the real flame started when I realized I couldn't play any sports. I knew nothing about fixing cars, and if I wanted to have a girlfriend, music was going to be the only way to do it.
That's a common story.
Yeah, it's a very common story.
And that's kind of the way it went.
And
I went through, I went through years of playing punk rock music, early rock and roll to classic rock and roll to jazz, country, back to punk, and then started playing a lot of blues music because that was kind of what was the norm at the time.
Well,
and now I just play everything, anything.
And you're certainly known for it. I mean, you can cover so many styles, and you've played in so many bands for a lot of years. Like there's a great band in Niagara area called the Niagara Rhythm Section with Steve Goldberger, and you've been in that band for how many years?
I'm going to say somewhere between 15 and 17 years now, I think. I actually started out as a guest.
Yeah.
And then, both the bands in Niagara, same sort of thing. I started out as a guest, and then I started bringing in other guests with me, and then I was filling in for musicians that weren't there, and then slowly just weaseled my way into the bands.
Well, you're also in Blues Etc., which is the band at Monty's, and you've been in that band for a ton of years as well.
It's I've been guesting with them for it used to be. Oh my God, I'm losing the name here. The Odyssey Blues Band.
Right.
And then it slowly transformed. Again, I used to guest with them, and then I started filling in, and then started fronting, and then we moved venues, and I stole it from them, took it over, and here we are.
And a shout out to Peter and Dave, your bandmates, who are incredible musicians as well.
Oh, and that's part of the reason I do it is because I've been surrounded by great musicians. The folks in Niagara are just you couldn't get much nicer. And Dave and Pete put up with a lot of crap for me on a week-to-week basis.
Well, I think the band name that you've had that I love the most is your first band. What was the name of that band?
Buffalo Springsteen.
Yes.
That's a classic. That's a classic.
We had a trio called Squat, Gobble, and Spit, but let's just leave that alone. We don't really need to discuss that.
No.
Rob and I had a band called the Swingin Johnsons.
Yes.
Yeah, duo. You're one of those, one of the key players in music, and there's a couple of you, and I'm thinking locally of John McKinley, who hosts a million jams, Mike McDonald, who hosts shows where he brings guests, and you bring guests, and they're so necessary in the music business, and because they allow musicians to collide with one another in circumstances that they wouldn't necessarily be placed in. And it also allows people to really grow musically as musicians and to really learn a lot. And you and folks like Mike McDonald and John McKinley are so important in music, and I think under recognized. And I think that was that's why we were so excited, why I was so excited to have you on the show, because of the role you play and how beautifully you play it.
Well, it's funny because we talked earlier about original music and so on, and I've never been an avid songwriter. As I said, I documented a few things so that I wouldn't forget them. But I've always sort of liked jumping into other people's situations and throwing my own little thing into it. And I've told people in the past, you know, they call me up and, you know, hey, listen, we need a jump blues swing player. I said, great, I'll give you 5 or 6 different phone numbers. Oh, no, we want you. And I said, okay, well then I'm going to come in and I'm going to play the way you expect me to play. And that's the way I roll. And I find part of the reason, or part of my, I was going to say, my saving grace for not spending a lot of time at home rehearsing is that I'm kind of constantly doing that on stage. I'm playing with different people every week, never know where it's going to go, and they're going to get sort of my interpretation of it and hope it works. And it always keeps it new, it always keeps it interesting. And, you know, I will gear more towards that type of music that they want to kind of hear, but it's still going to have my own little twist and flair to it.
It must be terrifying and gratifying all at the same time.
Well, it's funny because when I go into guest, I give the band very little direction. I figure that the musicians that I'm doing this with are talented. They can think on their feet. And if you go in and you say you're going to play Mustang Sally in the key of C, well, it's going to sound like Mustang Sally in the key of C. If you go in and go C, start, you never know. It could be musical magic. It could be a complete train wreck. And I'll be honest with you, I get off on that fear. Wow. Because you never know what to expect, and you can always pull the reins back and get it into where it's supposed to go. But just that sheer fear of not knowing what's going to happen.
Well, that's what keeps it fresh, I think, for you too.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And it's basically put your seatbelt on, keep your ears open.
Adrenaline rush.
And call it freeform jazz if it doesn't work.
Well, speaking of freeform jazz, we'd love it if you'd play another song for us, Steve.
Well, it might not be freeform jazz. It may be free of form. Do you guys have any age group restrictions in here?
No,
this song might be a little racy.
After 9:50, we're an adult show. 9:50 Eastern Standard Time.
We're not an
3:45 Tierra del Fuego time.
Perfect. I don't know. I actually, being the innocent, reserved kind of person I am, I have no idea what the song is about.
Okay.
But I've been told that it's a little racy.
Okay.
Okay. Well, here we go.
I'm dirty as a man. Hold cover. Looking for my lost lover. She put me out and now I'm sinking. I'm so easily led when the little head does the thinking. I'm walking with a tight red sweater, feeling like Eddie Vedder, only twice as cool when she starts waking. I'm so easily led when the little head does the thinking. I'm as loyal as a dog, but I'm a hog for that sexual attraction. It gets up in my mind and it makes a beeline below the belt. The consequences, just satisfaction. Baby, in my mind, I'm faithful. two-headed monster is so distasteful. Forgive me when my instincts start stinking. I'm so easily led when the little head does the thinking. I'm as loyal as a dog, but I'm a hog for that sexual attraction. It gets up in my mind and it makes a beeline below the belt. The consequences just satisfaction. Baby, in my mind, I'm faithful. This two-headed monster is so distasteful. Forgive me when my instincts start stinking. I'm so easily led when the little head does the thinking. I'm so easily led when the little head does the thinking. I'm so easily led when the little head does the thinking.
Catchy tune.
All right, great song.
Yeah.
It's no giant high tune.
Fabulous song.
And
Beautifully done.
There's I think there's been so many stories over the years and a lot of great shows, but I think I remember one story that you told us about that I'm sure everybody who's listening right now would love to hear about. And I think it has something to do with the time you were at Grossman's, and you went out to see a friend of yours who was a doorman at a particular club nearby. Does that ring a bell?
Oh yeah. Well, actually, what happened was I had a gig at Grossman's, and I had to run up the street to buy a package of cigarettes. And a buddy of mine was the doorman at the El Macombo.
Right.
And he said, you got to come in and see this guy that's playing. He said, this guy's going to blow you away. So I went up and caught a bit of the sound check. And I said, all right, you got to get me back in. He said, well, I'll do what I can.
This is before your show? Before your show at Grossman's,
Yeah. So I ran back down to Grossman's. I was getting paid $50 for the night. And a buddy of mine was there who played guitar. I offered him $40 for the night to play for me, so that I still had $10 for beer money. And I went back to the El Macombo, and I managed to see Steve Ray Vaughan live.
Incredible. Absolutely
just
incredible. And that was that the one that was video? Was that the show that was videoed?
Yeah.
So
You can actually, I'm actually in it for all of maybe 2 seconds as they pan around in the crowd along the wall.
I will rewatch it tomorrow.
Let us
You
know.
know, that's like a moment.
Really,
in
really
guitar
big
history.
glasses and long hair.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a moment in history. You were right there. Like
Wow.
all the guys who, love guitar have watched that video. I owned that video at cassette form. Everybody's, I thought I recognized you.
I had the VHS.
Oh, yeah. I made a cameo appearance in a City TV simulcast of Max Webster and Barry. You can see my face almost for a split second before I fall over the front row.
Okay.
And Steve, one of the things I think you're really excited about is occasionally you get invited to go to Jamaica and play the blues on the island.
I've been to Jamaica once, actually. Where my heart now is with a little island called Roatan.
Oh, Roatan, okay.
It's off the coast of Honduras. It's actually part of Honduras. I've been down there 2 or 3 times now. Of course, not this year. But I was actually in Roatan when all this craziness hit. And we've started making plans for 2022.
Good.
We'll be back down there. We go down, not quite sure how many weeks are going to be down there with the Blues in Roatan, but I know I'm going down for at least 7 days. I believe right around the beginning of March.
So all our fans out there who are in Roatan or plan to be at the beginning of March, mark your calendars now, and you'll be able to see Steve Grisbrook live in the loudest shirt that you can ever imagine on stage.
And shorts.
And shorts. And shorts.
Okay.
Well, I'm getting back to the earlier story. I think one of the highlights of last year's trip was that I actually got to do a couple of shows with Stu Cook from CCR.
Oh, that's really cool.
Who lives down there. And yeah, I remember being on stage. I actually screwed up the lyrics to one of the CCR tunes. But then I looked up and said, "Hey, Mom, I did it."
That's a really
Yeah,
cool
so
story.
that was really cool.
Steve, we're really thrilled that you could join us tonight and be our guest. You sang some incredible songs. You're an incredibly important glue and important part of the sort of musical circle that exists in Southern Ontario. So thank you for being our guest. And I think Paul is going to explain the rider that your people negotiated on your behalf.
Yeah. Again,
I
the
didn't even
agreements.
know I had people. I look forward to hearing all about this. This is interesting.
We just finalized everything with the team.
Oh, I see.
And we have installed a fax machine in the green room so that we can do this last minute as well in case
I'd also like a complimentary trip to Greece if we can pull that off too.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
That's no problem. As a winner of the Big F Award, I have privileges, various privileges and connections with that nation.
You've won.
Me and the nation of Greece. It's like a pipeline. I'll get you there, Steve.
Perfect. Thank you.
So in honor of you and in honor of the Academy Awards, I'd like to present to you your rider, the Celebrity Edition. Which is, can you go back for a second? You just wrecked my setup. I got to get Fluffy back. Silvia's been doing the thing while Fluffy's away. Okay, so Steve, I don't know. I haven't seen you in the nude. But do you have any tattoos?
I do not.
Okay, so you're like a Nink virgin.
Virgin territory.
Which is really the kind of canvas that I like to work with. So what we've done here, we've taken famous movie stars that we know you cherish through our intelligentsia, through Google and everything. We know that you cherish these people. And we've mocked up a full-size back tattoo, one that'll carry you right through prison if you ever need to. Right? So you can see why I was nervous about this show, because I'm afraid, it's a good thing you're virtual, you can't hurt me. I'm only 5'3". So anyway, we've done mock-ups of all the tattoos. I've taken the pictures of the movie star, I've interpreted them myself, and this is what it would look like. I'd like you to pick one. I'd like the audience as well to get back to the Fs and help us with some voting, some audience participation.
Okay, this is the first one.
Okay, so we know you love Elizabeth Taylor.
Oh, definitely.
That does not.
Yeah.
That doesn't. It looks like a man with long hair.
It looks like Gerard Depardieu.
Could be Gerard Depardieu. Anyway, I had this stencil. It's close. Okay. That's option. Model A.
Okay, Model A. Next. Okay. Just.
Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Taylor Swift. This is very good. I think like no one's ever going to touch you in jail with this thing.
Okay.
Nobody's ever going to.
Oh, or at least a decent back rub out of it.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
That's a spitting image.
This
that
one's
was
pretty good.
close.
This one's pretty good.
We know you love Saving Private Brian. And we know you love that movie. I did a mock-up of Tom Hanks's face. Not the final, but that's going to be the effect.
Right.
Just, these are all, Paul. I mean, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but they're not
quite on.
Maybe if you could rework it, maybe into a Toy Story theme.
There you
maybe,
go. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What would it be without Nicolas Cage, especially in jail? Remember the movie Face Off? That took place in jail. They're going to see that. They're going to get scared shitless.
Okay.
Shitless.
Oh.
You see it?
Okay.
That'll
That's a lot to
no.
choose from.
Let's go.
That's all right.
I will say that that's probably some of your finest work right there.
Jack Black, fine actor.
It's
Fine
just,
actor.
It just.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. I like that. I like the
I
hair.
wouldn't do that
That's
one.
good.
So,
a few options there.
There's lots of
what do
Elizabeth
you
Taylor.
think? What do you
Gerard.
think? What are you going to pick? What are you going to pick? You got to pick.
Taylor. Tom.
Good word. Yeah, good try, Paul. That one was close.
Jack.
I think if I had my choice, I'd probably go with Taylor Swift.
There you go.
Well, there you go.
All right, Taylor Swift
Oh yeah,
it is.
definitely.
Well,
Yeah.
All right.
Paul, you better.
Because they'll think you're her boyfriend in jail and they won't touch you. They'll be scared of you. That's smart. That's clever.
Well, Dino.
Let's go with that.
Paul, Dino, your friend, also picked Taylor Swift, so I think we have unanimous selection.
Unanimous Fs.
Unanimous Fs.
Folks, Steve Grisbrook, incredible show. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
And you guys, you're an incredibly skilled craftsman. You are one of the wrecking crew. You're one of the Ontario's wrecking crew, and we appreciate you for that. Thank you.
Oh, I appreciate that. You guys have been fun. This has been so much fun and very accommodating. And get me back. I'll come back.
We'd love
to have you back.
We'd love to have you
I may
back.
just start creeping you and become your silent Ed McMahon.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
There you
We're
go.
going to do a show. We plan to do a show with a studio audience. We're trying to figure it out to get a bunch of people on to heckle the show and to actually provide some sound effects in the background.
You know, and I'll even put on bunny ears if that'll help you with the fluff.
Oh my God.
That's great.
Steve, we're gonna play a little video of you. I think it was a Christmas show you did at one of the venues you play quite regularly. Which venue was it?
I think the one that we talked about was probably at the old winery in Niagara on the Lake.
That's right. That's right. So we're gonna here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Grisbrook doing Mercury Blues. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve, and see you.
Thank you guys again. And
Thanks, Steve.
watching.
See you at the after party.
Yes, sir.
There's towels in the green room, Steve.
Percussion.
Oh, right.
Is it?
Paul is.
Paul's
There.
he's back.
He's back. He's back.
That was a great video, Steve. All right. Good.
Oh, such a fun show.
So
Like to thank everybody for tuning in. And next week, we're really thrilled. We have a very special guest with us next week. And next week, our guest is Sean Pynchon. He's a singer, a songwriter, and an amazing slide guitar player. You're going to want to tune in for next week's show where we bring Sean Pynchon to Talking About Live.
All right.
Sean, I owe you money.
And I think he is a sweetheart, and I'm really looking forward to having Sean on the show. I think it's late, and I think it's time to pack up. I think we're done.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Wrap it up. We're going to make a lot of money this time.
We're the Water Street Blues Band, and this has been Talking About Live, coming at you every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us next week when our special guest will be the great slide guitarist, singer, and songwriter, Sean Pynchon. Goodbye, Paul.
Good night, John Boy.
Bye, Sylvia.
Good night, Rob.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us.